Welcome.
We're back.
Surprise, surprise. You're not in
Scotland. No. And we're both getting grayer.
Yeah. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to be back. We have a lot to talk about today.
We do. We have
I
some
think
big
Awesome
updates
products.
about Autark Tourbillon.
I'm very proud of our stuff, to be honest. When I see these things, it's getting more and more like, okay, we are not so bad in what we do.
No, I mean, when we're looking now with what's happened with the Tourbillon, the K2 movement, and obviously now with the micro rotor tourbillon movement, you know, we're
Switching
in
in
a
presentation.
very different place where we were with the K1. It's really, we're now got a full range of watches, models of families, all based around the whole K2 tourbillon, and of course the micro rotor tourbillon that we're going to be talking about today, all to do with the Autark Tourbillon product. Lots of folk have been waiting for this, see the final dials, to see the final movements, the colours, and we've even got the leather straps here to let you have a look at them as well. So that's what's going to take the bulk of the time, I think, today up. But we'll have a little extra bit towards the end where we'll talk also about the Autark K2 Small Seconds. We've got, all three of the final samples, had to check there. And we also will give you a quick introduction to the new addition to the Supersede family, that being the Dual Time. So that is the plan for today's hour that we've got on this live. So maybe we should move on to the next one. So we'll get right in, maybe at the deep end. So this is the Autark Tourbillon update.
What kind of watch are you wearing?
Actually, mine's the tray. This is the tray, yeah.
I am wearing my Autark K1 in white. Yeah.
And I'll not show you what I was wearing because you'll see it later. I don't want to ruin the surprises. So obviously there's lots of people who have kind of jumped onto the Mission Independence, and of course that main product for that whole campaign was the Autark Tourbillon, which was really taking our K2 and all the learnings of our K2 micro rotor, our handline tourbillon, bringing them together for, of course, the
in record time, by the way.
Yeah, super record time. In fact,
first drawing to first sample was 6 months.
If that, yeah, even slightly shorter.
It seems we break another record for delivering.
Well, we did promise Q1 2025, so January, February, March next year, and we thought there's a little slim chance that we might be able to get a few out the door at the back end of this year. But we were being careful,
working hard for it.
We worked very hard, but we also didn't want to scare the engineers too much because they were getting,
you're promising stuff. And
don't promise what you can't deliver. But they delivered everything actually ahead of schedule. And of course, there's a little bump here and there along the way. Some of the parts are not the easiest parts in the world to make. Lots of shared componentry across the platforms, but we've got there, and we genuinely, touch wood, believe that we will get, hopefully, the majority of the orders out by the end of this year, if not all of them, but we'll get to that later on as well.
So right further into presentation. What's first?
First coming up, we're going to the dials, aren't we? We're going to look at the dials. So
there we are.
Here's a couple of pictures, but we have dials here. So what will we start with? I think we'll start with the grey one, because this was the launch project in terms. I'm allowed to open it because I've been instructed strongly by Sue that we should take the lid off, because if we don't, there's too many reflections. So let me just center this. I really do like this. So this is, and I will remove my big fat ugly fingers. This is the gradient grey. So this is a final one. In fact, these were delivered this morning. That's how tight we're running kind of the schedules. So these arrived this morning. This is the gradient grey. You've got obviously the power reserve in there up at the top kind of 10 o'clock position. And we've kind of finally settled on the level of fume effect between the outside edge coming into the centre. Some of the samples early on were maybe a little dark, too light in the middle, maybe too dark overall, too light overall, but we think we've pretty much hit the nail on the head.
It's the best.
It's super good. And this texture, which was actually a little bit of a surprise.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Can we zoom in? We
Yes, you
probably
can.
can. So,
Get even further too.
so you can see this really nice texture on the
Amazing.
dial. I'll move it just slightly, but I need to be super careful here because I can't touch this with my fingers or else I will be executed. But let me zoom in slightly, and you can see this has the gold appliques.
Yeah.
So obviously the
Light-
bright lights in the
very light
studio
gold, yeah.
is covering it, but it's a very light, you can maybe see it on the 12 o'clock marker there. Obviously infilled with the loom there as well, so this one will glow very nicely under the darkened days and evenings as we come into the autumn.
Those fingers.
I should have the special little fingers, yeah.
Should I bring them?
Is there some handy?
I can bring them
Andy can maybe bring
quickly.
them.
You are happy
So I'll-
in front of that camera.
I'll still show what's going on here. So this, as I say, is the grey one. And then, oh, the colour of the grey dial is too bright. Please adjust the lighting. Well, we'll look at that in a minute, but when Andy gets back, see if we can soften the lighting slightly, but there's a lot of very bright lights here. So that's the grey. Then we have the salmon. So this is the salmon, of course, without the power reserve. And we also have the salmon with the power reserve, which can come in here. Just straighten this up. So there we have the salmon with and without the power reserve. This was a slightly later addition to the Autark Tourbillon offering, but again, really pleased with how the salmon dials have come out. And I've now got some special little... Sue was mentioning in the chat that she says the lighting is a little bright. Can we bring the lighting down? But
From that top camera,
maybe
you
we
need to
can
go a
try.
little bit down.
a little bit down.
Yeah.
Let's see if that works better. And we'll bring the grey dial back. But let me just put these on so that I can manhandle the dials without getting any fingers. Yes, without being murdered. I'd like to not be murdered today. And there we go. Okay, so let me carefully.
Yeah, okay, the fingers.
Yeah, they're good. So here
We have to
we have
zoom again. So, oh. Wait a little bit until it finds it.
There we go. So this is the salmon without the power reserve. And then we have the salmon. Being very careful here. The salmon with the power reserve. There you go. Just moving it slightly so you can see the effect. Then we'll go back to the grey.
I'm the grey guy.
I like the grey as well, yeah. And just get my little fingers holding this properly. And there we have the grey. Again, you can see the fumé effect.
It's the best.
Really
I mean,
nice.
there are others coming.
Yeah. So we're being asked a question there by Jean-Francois. What is the finishing on the salmon dial? Grained versus not, plain versus sunray?
Kind of
It's certainly not grained.
soft,
It's a smooth finish.
soft matte.
Yeah. And
You want to try that camera?
let's see if this camera will pick it up. Here
Yeah.
we go. We're getting there.
A little bit up.
Just get a good grip of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit up. Yeah, no. A little bit, yeah, that's them now.
There we go.
You don't really get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, the blue and the black. They are currently built into sample watches, but this is the sunray blue, which has a definite, very obvious sunray effect on it. You can even see it catching the light there, where the sunray effect is coming into its own. So this is the blue. And of course, we also have the black with the little terracotta red highlights just on the little rehot ring and just on the inside edge of the cutout for the tourbillon as well. So this is the sunray black, which again has that sunray effect on it that you can just catch if you get it in the light correctly. So that is the final dial colours. Going through them once each again. Under the close-up we have the black sunray.
You might be able to catch the...
Might just catch the sunray. Yeah. It's quite difficult because we're in studio lights.
I need to...
This, and you can see the inside edge of the tourbillon cut out there with the red, and that is the black dial. Then we have the sunray blue. Both of these, of course, are without power reserve. This is the blue sunray.
Yeah.
Both of these have silver rhodium style coloured appliques with, of course, the superluminova infill. Then we have the grey. Just need to focus.
I need a joystick. And
Yeah, we need
operate
a remote control.
Everything must be the remote control.
This is the grey, which of course has the gold appliques.
Not yet, in case.
And we have, of course, the two variants on the salmon, which are the same.
You will put all of them underneath.
Except we can do in a second. The same, except they have with and without the power reserve.
It's interesting
So
how that little power is
Yeah,
a lot.
it changes it from a very clean, very classic dial without the power reserve, this one here, into something that maybe is a little bit more modern, a little
I'm
bit
just not a
sportier.
salmon guy.
You're not a salmon guy.
I eat it.
You eat it, yeah. And I eat a lot, plenty where I come from, yeah, for sure.
It's okay to eat it, but
Yeah,
that's not my color.
no. I see. I'm a big fan of the this salmon one here without the power reserve personally. But then said I love the grey.
Yeah, but the good thing is it's a requirement of taste. You know?
Absolutely, something for everybody. Yeah,
Mm.
and the watches can look so
Can you
different.
put all that stuff underneath
Let's
and
see if
make
we
it
can.
bigger?
Let's see if we can get them all in a little shot.
And
So
a little bit.
grey here. We will have salmon hiding up here. And we'll have it to
It's interesting
relation.
when your hand is in the way of that light.
Yeah.
You're getting
And we can maybe squeeze in, hopefully, black dial. And go with we can just get it in no more, I think. Hopefully here we can see all the options. We have gradient grey with power reserve and the gold appliques. We have the salmon without power and the silver rhodium appliques. Salmon with power reserve, of course, with the same rhodium effect on the appliques. And we have the black with the little terracotta red highlights, sunburst effect, and we have the blue sunburst effect as well. So that's the full set. You can just see it. You can just see it around 12, the little sunburst effect.
now you see
Yeah. So
that.
there
Very
we go.
difficult to see.
Super hard to get them to catch. When you get them out into the daylight
Yeah,
though,
there
and
you see
you can just see it there, yeah, the 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock position. In the daylight, under the sun, outside in the real world, you really do see them popping and catching, especially with the blue one. There we go. And what have we got? Any questions before we move on? So, so the salmon has a subtle fumé effect. Yes, it's a very subtle fumé effect. I think some of the earlier samples had a bit more aggressive of a effect. Yeah. So it's good. Oh, you're staring down the barrel of the gun there. And then the blue looks great. Yep, we agree. We agree. That's a Freudian slip for the grey dial. Agree, we agree. Yes, no, the blue. I really do like the blue. The blue, I think, is probably my favourite of all of them. Yeah. Can we get a wrist shot? Yep, I can help with that in the blue or the black. I'm not going to risk putting one of the dials on my wrist because that will just go badly wrong. So let's go to.
Yeah, I want a wrist shot.
So let's see if we
can get it up. Up. Yeah.
There we go. So there's the blue. You can maybe just catch that.
You need to do it a little bit left. No other side. Yeah.
There we go. You can see the sunburst at 12 o'clock there.
No.
There we go.
Good.
So this is the blue as a wrist
and then watch it thin.
Yep, and we're talking 8.8 millimeters. So we can maybe, if I get it here, you can see super thin. And then let's just quickly try the black one on, and you can see a wrist shot of it. We'll actually have all of the watches built up as samples in the next few days, but there we go. There's the black, and again you can see just the sunburst catching at 12 o'clock.
Glass is better.
Yeah. So that is the black dial. And if I try and go side on, you can see very thin. Nice. Very thin. Obviously all grade 5 titanium with the grade 5 titanium bracelets, and obviously HORAGE, get me centre, the HORAGE
extension
micro
clasp.
Adjustable clasp. You can do it at the bottom, and by opening it up we can see if I catch. Let's see. There is the inside there, whereas you've got 10 millimeters of adjustment in 1 millimeter increments. So super adjustable, and also when folded, it is super thin as a clasp as well. So very wearable. If I remember rightly, I think it's 88 grams all in. That rings a bell. So yeah, we're talking 88 grams.
I'm saying yes, because I assume you're better than me.
I mean, I'm old, so my memory's not great, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's around 88 grams. No doubt Sue will correct us in the chat if we're wrong, but I'm sure it's around 88 grams. So super light and usable. So how much thicker would the case have to be to accommodate a meteorite dial? That's a good question. Oh, there we go. Sue's corrected us. 85 grams. We were 3 grams out.
Yeah.
So
meteorite dial. Yeah,
generally
usually it has a carrier.
A little bit thicker.
0.5 probably.
Probably something like that. Yeah, not a huge amount, but enough that it would make a little bit of a difference. Probably in the 9.5 towards 10 millimeter case size we would need to be good. Still though, if a case size is under 10 millimeters, I would definitely categorize it as in the thinner end of what is available in the market. So that covers us a little bit, and obviously anyone that wants to see them again, just drop a wee message into the chat and we can come back to them later if anyone wants to see them again. But what's next on the agenda? So this is the movement. This is one of the technical drawings of the final layout of decoration, what the rotor will look like. And this again is exactly as it will look when it comes to the finishing. So couple of very subtle little changes maybe from some of the early renders, but nothing significant.
Producibility kind of thing.
Manufacturing.
Radius,
but we're talking probably things that you would need to play a game of guess the changes, which would take you many weeks to work out what had actually changed. But we just thought, you know, to be clear and for clarity, this is a drawing or a kind of technical drawing of the finished aesthetic of the movement. So everyone can see that, and of course you'll be able to look back at it on there as well. But that kind of opens the gambit on movements. So colours, something that people have been asking. And this has
we are
been one of
constantly
the
being bashed by the engineering and the supply chain because we do
SKUs.
that.
Too many SKUs.
SKUs.
Yes.
That's a hard part. But you know, I mean, I know already what happens. Yeah, we will do that, and once we get through that pre-order thing, then there will be only one.
Correct. So I think it's fair to say in this, there are certain colours that have been easier than others. Obviously, the dark grey, the anthracite, the just off black, however you want to describe it, is a colour that we're known for. Obviously, the K2 movement has a very similar colour palette to this one. So this is something that's definitely a known commodity to us. You can see the picture here, but I can actually show you, which just came from Cedric, one of the watchmakers. And he, I can zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the...
Your hand is in the way.
I move out the way.
It's dark. Yeah.
Obviously, with this being dark.
Wait a second.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Let me catch the light there. So this is. There we go. There we go. There we've got it. So this is the dark grey aesthetic.
Is that nice?
I really like this one. This is the colour that will be the continuity colour. So after we start to deliver and effectively we close the pre-order for Autark Tourbillon, the two other colours we're about to show you will be deleted from the options list, which means that anyone who has ordered one of them in one of the other colours will have relatively limited watch. Not so many, and there won't be any more. So that is the dark grey. Then we will go to
I'll let you going because
blue.
I'm feeding the status.
There we go. Yeah. So here we go with the blue. So I think I've just managed to catch the light here. So that is the blue movement colourway, which we think is a great match, especially of course for the blue dial, but works well against the grey dial for sure. If you want to just bring a little pop of colour to the back of the watch, it works extremely well for here. But this is the blue movement. I really do like this one.
Wait a second, please stay there, because I'm snipping out stuff here while you
talk.
You know,
there we go.
No bots. Here.
No bots.
No bots.
So this is the blue. And obviously you can see the blue silicon in the movement there as well. So a really nice colourway. I think the blue is my favourite, I have to say. And then the final one, which is the one that I think has proven to be the most challenging to get to the colour that we want to be, is the one that's called terracotta. And here we go here. So this is the terracotta. A reddish, slightly orangish colour palette to this one.
Like terracotta.
Like terracotta, strangely enough. Yeah. And this one matches superbly with the black dial, especially because it's got the little terracotta markers on the re-hot ring in there as well. So if I leave that there, I will pull in to show you let me just get this lined up. There we go. I'll pull back in the black dial. And maybe hopefully here you can see the little terracotta 5-minute markers from the black dial. I personally think this is a pretty good match. I think they've got it pretty tight and pretty close in terms of the match for this one. So the black movement with that terracotta movement, sorry, black dial with the terracotta movement, I think it's a really good combination personally as well. That's one that's been relatively popular in the pre-orders. So yeah, the black obviously giving you that understated look, but
did anybody put together blue with grey dial?
Blue and grey, also quite popular. In fact, there's only one combination that was possible that to this day, not a single person has actually ordered it.
Which was
I believe is the black dial, this one here, with the blue movement. But maybe that's just too...
It should be good.
I think it could definitely work, but that is that combination.
Okay.
So have we
Surprising.
any questions popping up about the dials in general? Can we see any there? Folk are asking about the delivery. We will definitely get to the shipping and delivery in a little bit. So we've got some news on that will follow towards the back end of this presentation. So that is the three movements that I'm being very careful with, because these are going to be being cased up into some of the final samples as well, because we are going to be attending quite a number of shows over the next
Big travel.
2 months. Big travel. We're going to be in New York in the middle of October. That's going to be at the Wind Up Fair in New York. Then we're going to Washington, DC. We're doing a little event there with a couple of the watch clubs. Then we head straight to Germany to do Watch Time show in Dusseldorf. Then we head from there directly to London to do the Watch Pro Salon in London, which is at the end of October, very start of November. Then we head to Taiwan to do a show in Taiwan. Then we think we go to Singapore, and then I think we also go to Hong Kong. So we will be coming to quite a few places, bit of Asia, bit of the United States, continental North America, and obviously Europe as well. So we're going to be busy and tired.
I guess,
but
I love it.
Yeah, sleep.
It's time for
lots of time to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's the movement colours. What's next on the schedule?
Next on our presentation here is
looking at a million screens. Straps.
Straps.
So something we added in is, obviously, as many of you who've ordered this will know, we offered two options. We offered a payment option that was full payment at point of order, or there was a try-pay option that allowed you to spread the cost over 3 payments over essentially the period of nearly a year. But we said anybody who was a full payment, one of the little benefits of being a full payment customer was you got to choose one of the leather straps that we were introducing. In fact, I don't think we've actually shown leather straps to anybody yet. We went through many different versions.
Leather straps guy.
I
have to say, with
the
this
bracelet.
titanium bracelet.
Yeah. I think depending on where you live, and then depending on what your take on weather and heat and everything else is. The nice thing is though, obviously you've got the 10 millimeters of micro adjust on the bracelet with the HORAGE clasp, but
I guess
we also have our new. Yeah, we're going to come in. So let me give you a couple of options. I'm going to put the 3 colorways in. So we want to just zoom in a little bit. I don't wrong way. Let's come down to about here, shall we say. So we have move that into say there, move that to here, and move this to here. So what we have is we have the grey, we have the black, and we have the brown colorways in the strap. These have taken a long time to get right as well, because we've been going for something that is thin and it matches the thinness, of course, of the watch itself. But a big thing about our bracelet is extremely thin, and of course we didn't want a leather strap that was going to be thicker than the bracelet, because it kind of would defeat the purpose. So we finally got down to a size, and we can see here, to give you an idea, this is one that's mounted onto the watch. Let me see if I can just get it in angle there, and hopefully you can see that the profile of the strap fits really nicely into the profile of the lug. So a really nice, thin, flexible strap. And of course, you're not losing your micro adjust, because these are going to be fitted to our all new carbon fiber composite and stainless steel micro adjust deploy clasp. And this one here again has, just turn this over, you can see the 2 retaining holes here for the strap, but you have this adjustment, which, let's see if I can get my fingers not the road, but that's it at its fully open position. And you have 7 millimeters, I believe, of adjustment on this.
One of the rare times that we buy stuff.
Yeah, 1 millimeter increments. And this, you can hear it clicking, hopefully. This is the one piece that we actually buy from a brand that's also based in Beale.
Yeah.
These guys are,
Comics.
they own Formex, the brand,
Yeah.
for sure. And they're one of the, definitely the highest end producers of clasps and other component parts for many premium
The
brands.
whole
within the
family is
industry.
watching this.
They are.
Nearly the whole family
And
is watching this.
almost
It's
without
so good.
fail, if you're into your watches, you probably want to watch that you don't know that parts have come from Dexel, but they genuinely supply to many, many of the most premium brands within the watch sector. But this clasp is super thin, really nice and adjustable, very comfortable, and we think it's a great fit for our product, obviously with our little custom HORAGE laser engraved clasp on there and the 2 buttons. Now the beauty of this as well is the 2 buttons release, but if you press one of the buttons, it allows you to micro adjust with it on the wrist, so you can both make it smaller and larger. So you can push in to make it tighter without pressing anything, and the other button allows
That's
it
a
to become
pretty
thicker.
smart idea.
Really nice little clasp, and again, it fits the watch really nicely. So that is the 3 colours. You have, as I say, the grey, which is my personal favourite, I have to say. The grey will go, in my opinion, with any of the dials. Grey's a really nice neutral colour. It works especially well with the salmon dial. Salmon and grey, in my take, is always a super nice combination. But let's just quickly try this and see if it works. So this is the grey strap. So that's it beside salmon. I think it's a nice palette there.
Salmon outside are great.
We have it, yeah, we have it against the grey dial, which absolutely, definitely works in my opinion. It's a super great looking watch. We have it there. Obviously, we also have it against the blue, which I think definitely would work for sure. And the black, and black again, I think would work with the grey. So for sure, the grey strap is going to fit against any of them. Personally, I think the salmon and the grey are the 2 best combinations with that grey strap. So that's the grey. Then, of course, we have the most possibly neutral of all of them. You have the black leather. Let me just pop that there. Of course, against the black dial is absolutely going to work. Black dial, black strap is always going to be a classic that works. I think, surprisingly for me, it actually works relatively well.
A little bit dark. See, we can open one up, one notch. Yeah.
So against the blue, against the black, personally, I actually think it does work. I think this is something that would work.
You take your fingers out.
There you go.
So,
Cool.
thank you.
And then we have, of course, the grey dial, which I think would definitely work. I think if you use the grey dial with the grey strap, it brings out the lighter portions of the grey dial in the centre. If you use it with the black, it kind of reinforces that darker, almost black fume effect at the outside of the dial. So if you want it to look maybe a little more toned down, a little darker, the black strap is a good combo. If you want to kind of brighten it up a little bit, the grey strap, I think, is a really nice combination there as well. So that is those. The only one that I personally, but everyone's of course welcome to what they think, I don't think the black and the salmon is maybe the best combination personally. I think it's a little bit too aggressive against the salmon, but hey, if you like it, then who am I to say that that is a bad combination? And then of course we have the classic tan brown colourway as well. Now, for sure, it definitely works with the salmon.
That works. Yeah.
Although not as well as the grey in my book, but I think it definitely works against the salmon. I think it works okay against the grey, especially because of the gold appliques you've got there. It just makes the little gold appliques pop a little bit more than they do otherwise. So I'll move my fingers out. If you want my fingers out.
This time I want
You want fingers this time. So that's the grey, and of course it again works against the black. And finally we have it against the blue. The tan one definitely goes with all of them for sure. I think the grey pretty much as well. The black one, in my book, the only one the black one is maybe not quite as good against is the salmon dial. But I think we've managed to get a palette of 3 straps that work really well with the vast majority of these watches. If you're a full pay customer, you will be getting a leather strap of the colour of your choice along with your watch. We'll get to how you tell us about that at the end of this presentation, but you will be getting that. And if you're a tri-payment customer and you decide you want a leather strap, or if you're a full payment customer and want more than one colour,
something underneath that thing.
we cannot leave the people without views. Like grey, there, and black. So if you want to buy additional colours, or if you want to buy a strap and clasp, these are going to be available for you to purchase as well. Maybe for the summer, when you want something a little bit lighter, want to change up the look, you've got that option in there as well. Let's quickly see what it says here. What comments have we got? I know this is a tourbillon, but is there going to be a rubber strap? At this point, we're not planning a rubber strap, but as Sue says, never say never. In the future, that might be something that comes along. Just the 3 colourways for this point in time. Classy, what else are we talking about? Is it possible to buy a leather strap for who's opt? Yep, as we mentioned, if you're a tri-payment customer, you can surely buy the strap and the clasp as well if you want to. So yeah, I think hopefully, and are the clasps being sold separately? Yes, if you wish to buy the clasp separately, possibly you have a custom strap maker that you know and you want to get something put together, that's something we can do as well. So yes, you can definitely buy the clasp separately if you wish. Just drop us an email and we can facilitate that for you as well. So that is the 3 straps. What's next on the presentation, Andy? So delivery, I think, is what we're going to talk about now. So
no, halfway in, 40 minutes in.
So we are. So
lots of product today.
Lots of product, and there's more to come, more product to come. So parts production. The vast majority of the parts are now built, machined, complete. There's still some things like finishing to be done. So on some of the bridges, etc., they are working through finishing at this point in time. Some of the treatments, like the colour treatments and the platings, are being worked on.
Takes a lot of time.
It does, but and also when that machine decides to be less pesky than it has been. It's been a little bit pesky, the laser machine, over the last maybe 4 or 5 months, and it has, unfortunately, with a multiple of different projects, caused a few weeks delay here and there, especially when it very rudely decided to have a rest during the summer holidays, which was very rude of it, but they have as well. Yeah, machines have a life too. But yes, it's been back up and running now. But of course, a bit of a backlog had been created, but that's something. The vast majority of parts, though, I believe, cases are good, bracelets are good, dials are good. All of the component parts are manufactured for the movements, and it's really now down to things like finishing and platings and, of course, building them up into the actual movements itself. We are absolutely planning on commencing deliveries in December 2024. We're going to say that we're going to try our absolute hardest for Santa to be very busy, and everyone's on it. We want to get all of them, if we can, out of the door. That said, realistically 6 to 8 weeks is what it probably should take us to ship out all of the pre-orders. We do want to try, as I say though, and get all of them out in December. Please forgive us if 1 or 2 of them slip into the new year, but we will 100% endeavour to get
unless
most of them
not something disastrous happens.
We can never account, and we have a big wooden desk here.
A batch getting during plating or whatever, you know.
There's always the chance.
And you always only find it out when you assemble the stuff. You can measure whatever you want. You can have quality control at the end.
And you know how
the pudding when you assemble the things, and then hopefully nothing gets in the way where we have to remake something.
And it will be Paddy's Law. It'll be that one component that's got 50 different processes, and it'll be the 49th and a half process that will go wrong. But let's all touch wood and hope that that doesn't come to it, because everything has been running smoothly and swimmingly so far. Order of deliveries, as was notified from the very start, the full payment orders will be shipped and delivered first, followed by the tri-payment orders. We don't envisage there being a huge backlog or differential in time between the two, but we do want to point out, to be fair, we did say all full payment orders will be delivered first. So that hopefully answers the questions about deliveries. Next bit, next steps. So everyone, of course, made a choice at the start. I'm sure the vast majority of you decided your dial colour and your movement colour and are going to stick with that. But we will be sending everybody an email over the next 2-3 days, and we will be asking, do you wish to change? Do you wish to change anything? We will ask you for your dial colour, your movement colour, and of course, where applicable, which leather strap colour you would like in your order as well. We're creating a little PDF document. It will have pictures of each of the movements, pictures of each of the dials, and pictures, of course, of the leather straps. And we will ask you, please reply, and I believe we're going to say please reply by around the 4th of October if you wish to change. If you don't want to change and you're happy, you don't need to reply, and we will go with whatever your original order was. If we don't get a reply from you and that you then decide you do want to change, it might still be possible, but please be aware if you change after the final deadline date, it may well lead to some delays because we have to make sure we've got the right numbers of parts for coloured movements, dials available at that point in time. So we'll be working hard, but please, when you get that email, check your spam folders, check your junk folders. I would say it will go out to you between Friday and
Otherwise, we do
Monday.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. This is what will happen. And I'm not the shark. I'm the guy being hit with a laser. So yeah, please check your emails between, I would say it will go out in batches, the emails between the back end of Friday this week and Monday next week. Check your emails, check your spam folders, expect that email, and when you get it, please drop us an email. Even if you don't want to change and you're happy, if you drop a quick email and say, I'm happy with my original order, fantastic. We can just mark it up and move on. If you want to make changes, please do let us know, and please be as clear as possible. There is also a sheet on there that tells you what combinations are possible. So,
why did he know that before?
what did we say? Laser shark. Somebody knows what was coming. Yeah, somebody knows what was coming. So, as I say, if you order a grey dial, can we just scoot onto the camera?
Yeah.
There?
Oh, wait a second.
Slip back to the camera.
Yeah, top.
So, if you order the grey dial, or you want the grey dial, you can choose either colour of the 3 choices of movements. So grey dial, you can have terracotta, blue, or black. That's what you can have with those ones. If you order the blue dial, again, you can choose between terracotta, blue, and
Can you hold your
dark grey.
hand to the front? No, on the other side.
Oh, that's this side.
Yeah, it's getting more blue, huh? Down,
Yeah.
down.
Playing with
Something
light
was
here, yeah.
different, yeah.
So we have blue dial, you can choose which you wish, and of course with the black dial, again, you can choose, I think it's when I lean in.
No, when you have move that hand over there. Yeah.
There we go, you can see the blue.
Why
So again,
is it like that?
light, playing games with us. So yes, black dial. But please remember, if you have chosen a salmon dial, either version, you cannot have the terracotta and you cannot have the blue. You can only have the anthracite movement, dark grey. So any colour with blue, any colour with black, any colour with grey, but with the salmon only available with the dark grey anthracite movement there as well. Okay. And remember, when the orders close, or the pre-orders close, I can go back to the main. When the pre-orders close, the terracotta movement and the blue movement disappear forever. Therefore, now's the chance. And if you've not, maybe if you're listening and you've not ordered, but you're seriously thinking about an Autark Tourbillon and you like the idea of a blue movement or a terracotta movement, you need to get your order in quickly, because once they're gone, they are gone. And
Are they collectibles then?
yeah, well, we will have happy engineers and happy watchmakers, because it will be a lot less SKUs and parts for them to count and deal with. And of course, these colours, especially the terracotta, are tricky to manufacture. So that's where we are there. So you will get through this email with this document. Please come back to us as quickly as you can. Ideally, when you see it, if you get a few minutes, just drop us an email. We unfortunately have a lot of orders, so we won't be able to reach out to every one of you individually to say we've not had a reply. If you don't reply by that date, unfortunately, we're going to go with what your original order is, because if we don't, we will end up spending weeks chasing people and everyone's order gets delayed and Santa doesn't deliver for Christmas. And then there's lots of unhappy people. And I don't think any of our valued customers are in the naughty book.
Your spam folders.
Yeah, do check your spam folders, please.
There's some evil companies
it will come
from who push emails into spam folders.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is
changing security settings constantly and whatever.
Yes.
And we do not really know what actually Google and the big guys are doing once in a while.
Correct.
And we cannot be sure that things arrive just because someone changed
Absolutely.
settings again.
So you can. I've lost my chain of thought. What we're going to say? We're going to say emails. lostintime@horage.com is where it will come from. Maybe even if you add that email to your green list on your spam folders or filters, it will make sure it actually goes to your inbox as well. So lostintime, all the one word, lostintime@horage.com is where the email will come from. So I think that kind of rounds out where we're at with Autark Tourbillon. But the other baby brother, baby sister, however you want to describe it, of the Autark Tourbillon is the Autark K2 Small Seconds.
Which I had the pleasure to wear for a while.
And I think this is possibly one of my favourite watches in our entire range.
If the budget thing kicks in,
Yeah, even if you're saying yes, and of course, whilst the Autark Tourbillon full retail price is just shy of 15,000 Swiss francs, is an extremely strong value proposition, but for some people it's stretching their budget. This watch though is amazing.
The term clean.
It does. This is one of the cleanest watches now. Case, bracelet, dimensions.
Although we are not in the presenter mode.
There we go.
Now,
we're back. 39.5 millimeters, 8.8 millimeters in thickness. Same grade 5 titanium case, same grade 5 titanium bracelet. This is utilizing though our K2 micro rotor movements, and we have. Let's see if Andy can bring up the camera.
Yes.
Front, top.
Top.
Okay, so we have. And where is it going?
Right here. Put something in the middle.
Okay, so. That down. Catch the light to badly. We have the small seconds. We have the gradient grey, and this is a different grey. This is a different effect and texture. Let me just move this slightly in the light for you. Let me see if I can get. So again, a grey fume, but a smoother texture.
Go that direction. No. Yeah.
There we go.
Bigger.
So yeah, still has a graining texture.
Is that
but
nice?
A less of a graining. I love this watch. I love this watch. Less graining than you'll see on the grey dial of the Autark Tourbillon. But you have the running small seconds. And as I've mentioned before, case, dimensionally, everything is the same as on the Autark Tourbillon. This one, of course, though, is powered by our in-house K2 micro rotor movement. Put the right way up would be helpful. There we go. And this is, as we mentioned, the same dimensionally. On the bracelet, and the other core color is this salmon again with a fume effect on there as well. So hopefully that can be caught there. And again, this is with the K2 micro rotor movement. This is fitted to the, just zoom out slightly. There we go. The salmon fitted to the grey leather, and the grey, just move this a little bit. So we have the bracelet. These will all be delivered on the bracelet, and the leather strap will be an option for this watch as well. But because it's the same case, of course, as the Autark Tourbillon, the straps will be interchangeable. These are the two core colours, and these are final samples. And of course, we had the special edition, which is the Chinese New Year version. And this has, let's see, maybe just catch the red there. There we go, good, there we go. This is the Chinese New Year 2024 red dial. Amazing. I love it.
I mean, probably it's even better than the grey one. It is.
It is.
It is.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, this is the special edition.
Hold it like that. Exactly.
Hold this
like
well.
this.
And Andy's doing his grab a screenshot again.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, this one also has a little Easter egg, and that Easter egg is that it has a special rotor, which is got the dragon engraving in there, which is something that was definitely a great idea that proved to be slightly more difficult to achieve than we even thought it was going to be. But yeah, this one here is great looking. There we go, just caught it in focus there. This is the tungsten with gold plating micro rotor with the dragon engraving on it as well. Now this one is very limited. In fact, we are coming close to closing the orders on it, and once the orders are closed, it's done, gone forever. And there's going to be a maximum, I believe, of 25 of these in the wild as well. So last opportunity coming up, that if you like the look of this, and this again, I can go back to the red dial. Just focus. There we go. A fantastic looking one. And of course, only that little rotor mark signifies the Chinese New Year part of it. So if you just love the look of the red dial as well, this definitely could be something for you.
That's subtle, huh?
Super nice. So that is the 3 variants of the Autark K2 Small Seconds. And Andy, if you could jump back to the presentation for me.
Yeah.
We can go to the next slide.
Yeah. Present here.
The next slide after that one. Here's where we are at with it. So all of the movements are currently with COSC going through their certification, and they are all due to be back with us very shortly. Final T2 will then commence, and we are aiming to commence deliveries of this model in late October 2024. So essentially 4 weeks from now is when these will be winging their way to all of the lucky customers that have a pre-order in for this. And we will have some additional inventory of the grey dial and of the salmon dial. So these will be available ex-stock from around late October, early November as well. So if maybe you want to put something on Christmas list for Santa again, then there's definitely going to be some of these available. And the last 1 or 2 of the Chinese New Year ones, if you like the red and you want to take the jump on that one, you do need to move fast because they will be gone. So that is the Autark K2 Small Seconds. And then to begin to round out a little bit of news on something different, which is, next slide Andy, the Supersede Dual Time. And if you are follower of HORAGE, you'll know that of course the Supersede was the launch model. That was the Supersede GMT, was the launch model of the K2.
Yeah.
The K2 micro rotor, the first watch that it was fitted to is and was the Supersede GMT. It was a huge success for us, and of course it's still in the range. Again, a bit like some of the stuff we talked about.
Supersede GMT, there's Supersede
Date, and of
there's-
course now we have, if Andy goes to the camera, we have, and I do need to move this around, we have the Supersede Dual Time. Oh, there we go, there we go. The Supersede Dual Time. Now the Supersede Dual Time, unlike the other models, within the GMT there are 5 dial colours. Within Date there is 2 dial colours. This one has 1 dial colour, and it's this red line selvage denim blue. And really,
Came up with that name thing, yeah.
it's good, isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that before,
Yeah.
so I felt really dumb.
And the whole
You
inspiration.
are a total fashion victim anyhow.
Yeah, I'm a victim. I'm definitely a victim. No, the whole idea behind this dial was looking at other industries that have a real passion for, exceptionally good materials, good design, and kind of traditional crafts. And something that the vast majority of us wear pretty much on a daily basis is jeans, denim. And when you start getting into denim, selvage denim is the pinnacle, the high-end level of denim fabrics. And this dial, we think, has really captured that kind of essence. The red highlights on here all relate to the fact that in this high-end denim, quite often there's a red stitching line in there to signify its kind of heritage with selvage. And what does it have in terms of complications? There's been a few changes. The Supersede GMT and the Supersede Date share the same case and share the same unidirectional bezel. We have, though, a similar looking bezel, but anyone with eagle eyes will notice you have a brushed finish. You have no number markings like you do have on the Date and the GMT. And it's also not a fixed bezel, so no rotating in either direction for this bezel. You also have the dual time disc. So you have at 9 o'clock here, this second disc. It's a 24-hour GMT disc, which allows you to have that second time zone really subtly and kind of unobtrusively on the dial, while still keeping that really clean three-hand look to it.
That's what people call a collar.
This is what people call a collar GMT, correct. So whereas the true GMT, which is our Supersede GMT, you have that independently adjustable
The
hour
problem
hand.
with the true GMT is you need true money to fly.
Indeed. Both have their sayings, and
This thing you can use and call your friends and don't wake them up at night.
Correct.
And you
Or
don't
to
need
be
to spend
honest-
so much money on flying out.
True. Or to be honest, there's a lot of pros and cons people say about both, but I think collar GMTs get an unfair reputation as being the
And not true GMT. It's,
Yeah, and
in
if-
my opinion, it's a true GMT, and it's very useful for people who need to talk to someone else who's not here.
Absolutely.
So
And
it's-
also, even to be honest, most people utilize a GMT? When you go on holiday.
Yeah.
So really, they're not changing it. We're not talking about pilots anymore
Yeah,
who use
yeah,
their watch as a true tool.
Yeah.
Computers really take over that now. But you can set, if you have a relative in a different land, if you have a family member away working abroad, or indeed if you are just going on vacation and you want to leave set to home so that you can look and see what
I
time
mean,
it is at home.
effectively, you need both watches.
Yeah,
You
course.
can have how many bicycles do you have?
too many. It's a many habits. So this
And
is
watches also, by the way. Even more.
this is public. People listen to
I
these
know,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the K2 micro rotor movement that is powering this one as well. These will come on either the brushed or the polished version of the bracelet, but of course there is the options on the different rubber straps for this available in, let's see how good my memory is, orange, black, blue, purple, light grey, 5. I think that's them all. So all of those straps are available separately as well. Very easy to fit with our special little tool, or you can just, if you have a torque
It's
fits, you can use it. Super nice. Again, sizes on this, and this is where I'm really testing my memory, 9.85 millimeters thick. That's because we now use a flat crystal on the back. On some of the early ones, we had a very slightly domed back crystal, which took the thickness, I believe, to 10.28. But pros and cons again, people wanted it to be at the thinner end, under that 10 millimeters, and the flat crystal definitely pulls it underneath. The domed crystal, in my opinion, was also quite comfortable on the wrist because you didn't have that flat surface that can maybe sometimes stick to your wrist. But, you know, you take your choices. But yeah, under 10 millimeters, we listen to the customers, indeed. So yeah, screw down crown, and of course you still...
The person here and said, we know every customer worldwide, which is actually interesting.
Yeah, indeed. And then fast set date still on here as well. So if you want to flick the date through, super easy. You can do that without upsetting the timekeeping of the watch. So those pesky leap years, those pesky months that don't go to 31, you can quickly adjust the date and you don't need to worry about upsetting the timekeeping. Of course, it's a K2 micro rotor. Every watch we produce with K2 micro rotor is cost certified. So you have that cost certificate on there as well. So this is the Supersede Dual Time. These are available for pre-order. Very short lead time on those though. We believe we will be delivering these in the October-November time frame as well. Which brings us to the slides again. Because a bigger Supersede, next slide, is Supersede GMTs. I think for the first time since we were delivering all of those original orders, we have all Supersede GMTs in stock, physically in stock. The safe downstairs has a big tray, and we have brand new, ready to go GMTs, ready for Christmas time, in all 5 colours. The Supersede date, again, both colours, the sea note blue.
Don't any thief dare to break into our place because it's in a safe. And second of all, every product is known.
Absolutely.
It's unique. We will find it.
And to be honest, if you do, you're going to have to fight Celine, and you will lose. You will lose. She doesn't fight fair. But yes, both colours of the Supersede date and all 5 colours of the GMT in stock now, and we do have good inventory of it, and we will be putting those out into our concierges within the field as well. So in the US, in Taiwan,
it's an amazing,
in the UK.
When you think about it, it's crazy. It all depends. This can only be done because we have a very smart design on our movement.
Yeah, exactly. And Supersede Dual Time, of course, stock shipping from late October, and we will be building some additional stock there as well. So we now have a really nice complete family within Supersede. Obviously all share the DNA and have a very similar look, but you have the all singing, all dancing, true GMT with power reserve, with AM, PM indicator, fast set date, fast set jumping hour, and you have that unidirectional bezel on there. You have the much cleaner, more aesthetically pure date version, just the 3 hands and the date, of course, in the black and the blue colorways, still retaining that dive style unidirectional bezel. And you have the all new Dual Time with that brushed, sanitized, fixed bezel, and of course that second time zone disc in there as well. So let's quickly check. We're asking a few questions. So what is the water resistance on the Autark Tourbillon? 100 meters is what I believe.
There was recently something about or Patrick said they only write 30 meters now.
Correct.
Because the whole water resistance pressure thing doesn't say a lot.
No, it doesn't.
A watch which has a shitty seal pack,
yeah,
even if it's rated at 100 or 200 meter, probably is not very water resistant.
And I think it's always fair to say, you know, service and maintenance of watches when it comes to seals is actually definitely quite important. In fact, you could argue it's just as important as servicing the movement. Modern movements with modern manufacturing techniques and modern lubrications will run for a long time. Seals, on the other hand, do degrade. Weather, pressure, temperature, humidity, grain, sand, all of these things. Seals are something that need to be at least inspected and checked. I would suggest every couple of years. Definitely worth getting it done on any watch, I would say, including ours. We use great quality seals, but you never know. So definitely get them checked.
It's a rubber thing.
It is. It's rubber.
Over years.
Compression and all of these other things. But we have that there. So 100 meters is the answer on the Autark Tourbillon, which is also, of course, the same for the K2 Small Seconds Autark as well. And on the 3 different versions of the Supersede, we are 200 meters, I believe, in there as well. So what else have we got there as well? We've got someone saying the movement, that movement, this is from Math Caller, the movement orange band looks perfect. Yeah, it's great. I agree. 100 meters, Susan answered. Love it when a brand don't use the ugly round minute index dots. Yep. Is there going to be a standard movement models like the K1 again? We need to say, never doubt that we are constantly innovating. Will we leave it there? Does that maybe leave a clue? So we can go there.
Does using ground frequently wear out seals faster?
I think ultimately, yes.
Yes, it's rubbing, it's wearing. Hand-wound watches are properly, they are sealed in an area where you turn an axle on a seal, and I guess, we didn't measure that. But
no, I guess for me,
I would say yes.
Something I would say is it also depends how you wind or turn your crown. If you hold the top and the bottom and you equal the pressure and you turn it smoothly, you will put a lot less pressure on the seals. If you're one of these people that puts their finger underneath the crown and pushes it up and winds like this, or pushes down and winds, of course you put a very slight deflection on the stem.
I can't do that because I cut my finger here and it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. Or utility is, as I discovered it recently, you get some rather cool little power tools that you can just gently push onto the crown and it winds it up for you. But yeah, I think keeping them clean, of course, keeping detritus, dirt, grit, sand, all of these things. And of course, when you wear a watch, unfortunately, you get certain parts of you that build up on a watch. Give it a clean every so often.
Is there soft brush. Watch?
There is.
Winder?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I discovered this.
Okay.
Yeah. May have ordered
so we need to make a hand-wound.
We do. We do. So yes, keep them clean. That's actually probably the biggest killer of seals, is people letting kind of dirt and grit and junk build up around any of those areas. And of course, when you pull the seal out, it lets that potentially enter around the stem area. So just keep them clean, little soft toothbrush, something like that. Brush off any kind of dirt, dust, grit, and give it a wipe down with a nice soft cloth every so often. The watchmakers could tell you some horror stories, I think, of some watches that maybe come in after a few years that have maybe never been cleaned, and probably not the nicest thing. But yeah, keep your watches clean. That will definitely help. What else have we got here as well? Can't wait for a dress watch. Well, I would say if you keep your beady eyes on us around the late October, more likely in November time, but you'll start to see some clues on social media, definitely in October, and it's very good. I'm not a dress watch kind of guy, really, to be honest. I'm a t-shirts and chilled out kind of tool watch person. But there's one of the versions, because there's going to be 3. Don't think we're giving too much away, are we? There's going to be 3 different variants of it. One of them is just so my watch, and it's probably not the one people think.
So you need a suit then?
Oh, coat.
Did I hear that I need to dress up in the US?
You do. If anyone wants to see Andy for once of the few occasions in his life actually dressed up and smart, not a t-shirt, even with a collar and a jacket, and more worryingly, shoes.
Yeah, that was
shoes.
I mean, I have, of course, but
yeah,
it wasn't planned to
we're going to an event
that
is in a rather lovely venue, and we've been told there's a dress code. So it's been toned down. Apparently, it used to be black tie suits, but we've kind of toned it down. Smart casual. Was it country club wear? I think was the phrase. So that one's coming up. What else do we have here as well? We got a new fan. Thank you very much. Who's that from? That's from Alan in Denmark.
Yeah.
Lovely country, Denmark. I'm on the Legos.
Please spread the word.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure we could probably trade for Lego kit as well. Definitely. Yeah. We could do deals, especially the big Lego kits. Outside of that, what have we got? Yeah, and dress watch with sports watch specs is always nice. Well, I would argue
that is
that if you flick the camera, Andy,
yeah.
I'd argue that this watch verges in that sports dress classy style to it as well. 39.5 mil, 8 mil.
Too much reflection here.
Let's see if I try.
That's the red one, man.
That's the red.
Yeah.
I think the red, you know, at 8 point.
Yeah.
At 8.8 millimeters in thick, it will definitely slide under.
When you hit that light,
Yeah, it covers.
and it's
8.8 mil, it will definitely go under a shirt cuff. No problem. It's not going to be bulky and smart attire. 39 millimeters, again, it's not kind of big muckle tool watch on there as well. 85, so correct, it's 85 grams, super light, and of course a very thin bracelet. You could also, of course, put this into the leather strap, which I think will maybe smarten up very slightly on the leather strap compared to a bracelet. So I would suggest that, yep, this could be.
big.
Ah, he's back.
Oh,
Here we
welcome.
go. Oh yeah, there we go. So we do have that, but this one that's coming definitely falls firmly into the classic, timeless, elegant dress watch.
Do we
type
get back to
mentality.
presentation
Yeah,
here, or
go back to the presentation, yeah. We definitely have something that will definitely fit the dress watch itinerary. So yeah, that's
I
coming
think we
up.
are done anyhow.
And I think we're
We are
towards the
over
back.
time.
So we're over time. The question is, can anybody, what's he saying? I'm a bit rough and tumble, constantly washing my hands, so bracelet is ideal. I'm with you on the rough and tumble. Yep, for sure. I like a durable watch. And I have to say, I've been wearing the blue Autark Tourbillon, this little number, and I've been trying to not be super careful, but as hopefully you can see, if it focuses, in fact, we can go to the camera, it's easier. We go here, and then flip back to here, to, you know, there's a couple of little marks there, but broadly speaking, it's really clean. And I kind of given it a good couple of whacks off things just for a durability and testing situation. So yeah, I think it's definitely the titanium grade 5 is super durable from that point of view as well. I didn't see the bracelet before now. It's sleek and super cool, all of it. Yeah, our bracelet, we are really proud of that bracelet. It's, when we see it, especially side on, I think it's fair to say it's pretty slim.
Yeah.
Pretty slim bracelet. And of course the clasp is entirely of our own making, and you can see if I adjust it here, so you have it and you can push it in, so we go 10 millimeter of adjustment in 1 millimeter increments on there as well. And of course, let me in fact put it on my wrist, and we can maybe flip to the other camera. Can you flip to the other camera?
Yep.
And then you should be able to see, there we go, we are there. But if I try and angle it, I think it's fair to say that's a pretty slender bracelet that sits.
Show me one other company has that.
Yeah, and you can
Please.
see it maybe from this angle here.
Nice.
Super slim, super wearable, and of course, if I get the angle right, you can adjust here in terms of. I'm doing it with my wrong hand, which doesn't really help, but yes, you can adjust in. In fact, you can do it for me, Andy. There we go.
No blood. No blood's going.
Too tight, but no, it's good. So that is us. So maybe if we just drop back to the main screen and we can say our goodbyes if there's no more questions. Will you adjust the watch if we give you our wrist size with the order? Yes. As long as you give us the wrist size, of course, if you are measuring it, give us a couple of little notes as well. My wrist size is X, but tell us I like to wear my watch tight, not so tight. And usually what we would do is we will adjust it to that size with the adjustable clasp in the middle of its adjustment range. Best thing about titanium watches is you can buff out the scratches with the blue part of the Pelican eraser for pencils. Yes, you can. And also in the clasp, if it's a brush finish, Scotch-Brite pads are your friend when it comes to getting rid of any little shiny marks. The nice thing as well is it oxidizes slightly, so when you first scratch it, you get a little shiny mark, but it trades off.
Protection.
Exactly. But it's
Can do that.
super nice, super nice.
Good.
So there we go. I think that covers everything. No more questions. Thanks everyone, of course, for tuning in to listen to old men talk to you about watches.
Old grey man.
Old grey men. And I am older than him, which is even more worrying. Yeah. But yeah, of course,
Yeah.
any questions, drop us an email.
We go anyhow live.
lost.time@HORAGE.com.
Yeah.
Drop us an email with your questions. Please, if you're a customer of Autark Tourbillon, keep your eyes out for that email. If you're happy with what you previously ordered, don't stress. You don't even need to tell us you don't want to change. Just leave it as it is and your order will remain. If you want to double check what you ordered because you've forgotten, if you want to make a change, do drop us an email. If you're listening to this, you don't even need to wait for the email. You've seen it. Drop me an email now if you want and tell me, my name is ABC and I would like to change my order to this, and we will do that for you. So
thank you.
Thank you.
End of broadcast.